from the res life, big lessons for the world, dreaming big.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Willie Cheez Education channel. My name is Delmar, and I love to write stories and read them back to you, inspiring you to learn through the power of storytelling. Through the adventures of Willie Cheez, we explore personal development, Navajo culture, ceremonies, native histories, and life lessons that will help you grow and connect with both tradition and modern life. And I'm excited to share with you on a new story called Willie Cheez and the Memory of the Trail of Tears. Willie Cheez sat quietly by the fire, the crackling flames casting shadows that danced on the red rock walls of his family's hogan. His Nolly, his grandmother, sat across from him, the deep lines on her face holding memories and wisdom that ran generations deep. Tonight was a special night, a night of stories, lessons, and truths. Do you know what happened to our brothers and sisters to the east, Willie? Nolly asked, her voice low and steady. Willie looked up, the firelight flickering in his eyes. I've heard some things, he replied hesitantly, about a long, hard journey, the Trail of Tears. Nolly nodded, a heaviness settling over her as she prepared to tell a story she knew he needed to hear. Yes, the Trail of Tears, she began, her voice strong and steady. It's a story of pain, of suffering, and of survival. It's the story of what happened to the Cherokee, Choctaw, Creek, Chickasaw, and Seminole people when they were forced from their lands. She paused, looking out into the vast desert as if she could see the past unfolding before her. It was the early 1800s, she continued, when settlers and the government decided that they wanted more land, more resources, and they looked to the lands our brothers and sisters lived on. You see, Willie, to them, the land was just land, something to take, something to use. But to us, to the Cherokee, the Creek, and others, the land was life. It was home. It held the spirits of our ancestors, the stories of our people. They couldn't understand that. Willie listened, his heart heavy with the thought of someone taking away their land, the place where his people had lived for thousands of years. Those in power, they passed a law, the Indian Removal Act in 1830, Nolly explained. And with that one law, they decided that our people didn't belong on their own lands anymore. Thousands of native people were forced to leave their homes. They called it relocation, but it was something more sinister. It was forced removal. It was taking everything from them. Willie clenched his fists, the anger and sadness welling up inside him. He couldn't imagine having to leave his homeland, forced to walk hundreds of miles to a place he had never seen, all because someone else thought they deserved it more. Thousands of people, men, women, children, and elders alike, were forced to walk over 1,000 miles, Nolly continued, her voice trembling. Through rain, through snow, through hunger and exhaustion. Families were torn apart. Many fell ill. Some died of starvation. Little children, the elders, they were the first to be lost along the trail. Willie swallowed, feeling a lump in his throat. Why, Nolly? Why would they do something so cruel? They wanted the land, she replied simply, the pain evident in her eyes. The Cherokee, the Creek, and the others were given promises, told they would have their rights if they left peacefully. But even then, when they did as they were told, those promises were broken. They reached Oklahoma, a land that was foreign to them, a place far from their home, and even then, they were not given peace. Willie shook his head, feeling a deep sadness mixed with anger. It's not right, Nolly. To take away someone's home like that, it's not right. Nolly reached across the fire and placed a hand on Willie's shoulder, her touch gentle but firm. No, Willie, it's not right. And that's why we remember. We remember so we know the cost of losing our land, our homes, our heritage. and we remember to honor the strength of those who walked that trail, those who survived, and those who didn't. Willie looked up at the night sky, his heart heavy but resolute. We have to keep telling these stories, don't we, Nolly? Yes, Willie, she said with a small smile. Because if we don't tell them, who will? These stories are the truth of who we are and where we come from. Our ancestors walked that trail, fought through unimaginable hardship so that we could be here today. They were warriors, not with weapons, but with spirit and resilience. Willie nodded, a newfound determination settling over him. He understood now that his role wasn't just to learn about his people's history, it was to carry it forward, to make sure that the world remembered the sacrifices, the strength, and the stories of those who came before. That's what being Navajo, being indigenous, really means, Nolly said softly. It's not just about knowing our culture, it's about protecting it, about honoring the ones who came before us and the ones who will come after us. Willie sat in silence for a moment, letting the weight of her words sink in. We may not have walked the trail of tears, but we carry its memory, he said quietly, more to himself than to Nolly. Nolly smiled, her eyes shining with pride. Yes, Willie, and as long as we remember they live on, their strength, their courage, their resilience, it's all part of us. So, when you walk through this land, remember to carry that strength with you. It's what keeps us connected to those who came before, and it's what will guide us in the future. Willie nodded, feeling a deep sense of purpose settle within him. And Nolly said, always remember, Willie, freedom is a gift, but it's also a duty. We honor them by living fully, by holding tightly to who we are, by standing proud in our heritage. And that's today's story from the world of Willie Cheez. I hope it sparked some new thoughts, inspired growth, or brought you closer to understanding our shared journey. Remember, every story carries a lesson, and it's up to us to live it out. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and always honor where you come from. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.
From the res life, big lessons for the world, dreaming big.